Dean.
No, what person made a good point against him?
Oh, gosh, what was her name? The blonde lady with the blue shirt. I'm terrible with names.
What was the point?
The point she was making about him basically when Dean brought up character, and she was saying that when you're voting for somebody, you're not necessarily going to vote for their character 9 times out of 10. You're voting for
So,
their
okay.
policies.
So if he raped a child, would you vote for him?
If he raped a child, no,
Okay,
absolutely
that
not.
I
No.
thought I thought you don't look at character.
But was that a part of his 34 felonies? That was.
Wait, no, but he was held civilly liable of sexually assaulting E. Jean Carroll, which means he forcefully penetrated her against her will. So why is it the case that you would vote for them if it was the case that the victim was younger?
Is that actually? Was there proof of that, or was this
Yes,
hush money?
yes, he was held
Was this
civilly
some
liable unanimously by a jury of 9 people, based upon preponderance of evidence, for forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll against her will. Taylor,
Okay.
thank you for the $1.
Okay, may I intervene?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
You said, excuse me, you said earlier that Kamala was going to lower taxes for 100 million Americans, or yeah, would you say 100 million Americans?
Mm-hmm.
How many millions of Americans are in this United States, are in this republic? This is a republic. It's not a democracy. It's a republic. How many other millions of Americans are in the republic?
There's like 340 million Americans, and
So
it is
what
the case
about the
that
other
it's. By the way,
240
hold up,
million
hold
Americans
up.
in the republic that
Yeah,
she's going to help out?
I told you she's going to help the lower to a lower class to the middle class. That's what she's helping. She's not helping everyone, but she's in terms of tax cuts. Though their taxes, if you make under 400K, are not going to go up. Okay,
Explain
their
to me her
taxes aren't going to go up.
policies that are
But
going to
let
do
me.
that, because she
I
hasn't
will.
been coherent
Can I
about
please
any
finish this?
policy that
So
she's
hey,
ever.
I can explain to you, but please let me do it. So you said that we're not a democracy. Yes, we are. We're both a constitutional republic and a representative democracy. There's not a contradiction
Yes, we
between the
are a
two.
representative democracy.
That's a
We're not a
democracy.
democracy.
That's what a democracy. A
But
representative
what they
democracy
want
is not
is
a
a direct
democracy.
democracy, not a
Robert,
representative
that's
democracy.
not true. Is a representative democracy a democracy?
Representative democracy is a result of a constitutional republic,
Is the representative democracy a democracy?
a form of democracy,
There
yes.
you go. So yes, it is a democracy. Not only that, but I'll give you the tax policies. $6,000 child tax credit for the first year of a child's life. 3,600 through them being 5 years old. 3,000 through them being 18, which is up from $2,000 under Trump. Okay. She also wants a $25,000 tax credit for the first time home buyers for new homes. She wants a
First
$50,000.
generation home buyers.
Yeah, that just means the first home. It's not for immigrants. It's for the first home. It's a new home. The hand art. First generation just means new home. That's all it means. It doesn't mean immigrant.
It don't apply to me, and I've never bought a home in my life.
Yes, it does apply to you. If you were
No,
to
no,
buy
no.
a new home, it would apply to you. So that also the $50,000 deductible from your taxes for the first year for small businesses, that benefits them. $2,000 cap on pharmaceutical drugs out of pocket. $35 cap on insulin a month for everyone, not just seniors. Allowing for Medicare to negotiate drug pricing. Right. Not only that, but she wants to limit the effect of medical debt on credit, like get rid of that. She also, I mean, I can mention a million things. She had
What was Trump's insulin cap?
so he wanted to do a $35 cap on insulin. He did it through executive order, which didn't have like basically any effect on the price because it wasn't like enforceable.
So executive order has no
That executive order didn't
validity at all.
that executive order didn't have validity. What actually brought it in was the $35 cap on insulin for seniors within the context of the Inflation Reduction Act, which
So
Kamala Harris put
executive
into law
orders have
by being
no
the tie-breaking vote.
executive orders have no bearing on anything that happens. Correct.
In this context, it didn't. They do in other contexts, but in this context, it didn't. It's not the same as the
Just
law
that
that was made.
context, it didn't have any bearing
No,
on lowering the cost of insulin.
not for seniors on Medicare overall.
Hmm. Well, see, I live in Texas, and you were speaking earlier about the Keystone Pipeline going through native lands. I have friends over here in East Texas that live on native lands, and the whole Alabama Coshada tribe are um, probably 98% are voting for Trump. because I go there and
Randolph, thank you for
visit
the
with them all the
$7. Thank
time.
you.
I'm from
Again, I'm
Texas and I've worked in the oil field. I've been a roughneck. I've been a tool pusher. I'm a welder. I'm a fabricator. And I'm going to tell you right now that things are a lot worse financially under this administration. They claim that the gas prices going up, they couldn't control, but as soon as they go down, the gas prices are going down. Thank me for that.
No. Timothy, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. So, yeah, the gas prices went up around the world. It's because we're getting less imports from other countries. We actually produce more oil in the United States right now than any point in American history, or of any country ever.
Can I interject?
Yep, go for it.
I just recently watched a little snippet. I didn't watch the whole thing. I should go back and watch the whole thing, but I watched a little snippet of Oprah interviewing Kamala when she had J Lo, Meryl Streep, and whoever else, and their lives. And there was someone that had asked her, like, what are you going to do to bring down the prices of gas and groceries? And Kamala quite literally just spoke her usual word salad and didn't really answer the question. And then you watch Trump get asked the same question. He answered it fully. And it was,
What was
he
Trump's
wants
answer?
to take care of he wants to take care of the farmers.
What was
And
Trump's answer?
do less exporting and importing. Doing less, like he said he wants to follow more of what the other countries are doing, and they're not bringing in more imports. So taxes on tariffs.
That's totally
They want-
incoherent. Oh my fucking god, that's incoherent. I'm sorry, but like tariffs increase consumer products costs, okay? Your prices will go up with tariffs.
Then
Okay,
buy
Trump is
American.
totally lying to you. Almost every economist agrees on this. Left-wing, right-wing economists, they all unify on this point that the tariffs are consumer tax. They cause prices to go up for consumers. He's totally lying to you.
I'll tell you what, I pay more than, and this goes beyond Trump or Biden or Kamala
And can
or
I address that? Because like
everything.
the inflation
Congress holds the keys to the bank.
Yes, they do.
Problem is-
Robert, but listen. Tariffs are not tariffs. Inflation happened globally in Africa, Asia, South America, Central America, Europe, everywhere around the world. This inflation is related to COVID mostly. It's not related to the Biden-Harris administration. If you say it's spending, more debt-related spending was signed into law under Trump's
Oh, here
administration.
we go with
comparative to
fucking
Biden.
COVID, man. Like COVID, I'm so sick of COVID. I'm over fucking COVID. COVID
Cool,
killed
I'm
less
just-
people than smallpox. It killed less people than measles. It's killed less people than the flu. COVID must be the most powerful.
Robert.
It must be the most powerful virus in the world
Robert,
because
you're
it
just,
killed
like, lying.
tuberculosis.
Kristen
It
Mustache.
killed the flu. It killed the.
Robert, you're just lying at this point. Okay, the flu was less
COVID
deadly.
made people so much worse.
Even Trump says that the flu is way less than COVID. So Robert, you're just like fucking absolutely wrong. Okay.
I
Also-
wasn't working in the hospital at that point. I was working in ear, nose, and throat. So I can't speak for what the numbers were in the hospital. I'm sure they were far worse.
Yeah, they
But I think that whole year we lost 4 cancer patients, unfortunately, because they didn't stand a chance with that virus. 100%. I saw how it affected people, and it was horrifying. It absolutely was, and it was because it was. I feel like what were they saying? They said it came from Wuhan, and I wasn't sure if this was something that was biochemically engineered to kill more people or what. But I saw how much it affected mostly the cancer patients, the head and neck, laryngeal, whatnot.
So there is no evidence indicating that it was biologically engineered to kill more people. Appreciate the little crown. Thank you so much. But we don't have an idea of whether or not it was a lab or whether or not it was a zoonotical leap, right? That's something that's still up for grabs, right? There's not 100% evidence for either or. There's not most likely evidence for either or even. It is possible for it to be either or, but even if it is the case that it was a leak, that does not indicate that it was intentional and or made to kill people.
Right. So, during that year, we obviously lost our cancer patients, and I think that was only it was about 4 of them or something. But that's all I really saw. I didn't I have never worked in the hospital, and I never
Yeah.
will. But
I also want to make one
since then,
point.
people have become so much worse regarding if they were already
Here,
like
Florian, can I make one point real quick?
yes.
So as it relates to this, the reason why there would never be like an intentional like a virus created like that would be like that is because we're so globalized now that essentially they'd be attacking themselves,
Right.
right? Because the
Right.
pandemic would eventually hit people in their own country.
Right,
So
right. It
there's
was
no
the flu
really
of
reason to do
1918
something
all
like
over
that.
again because it was brand new. Our bodies did not know what this virus was, and it fought it up the way it thought it could. So, thankfully my office didn't make the vaccine mandatory. I still took it though before it was open to the public. So I was basically a guinea pig at that point. I only had 2 of the vaccines, but I ended up catching it a year later. Whatever. But it's definitely, if I want to say that regarding how people reacted during from 2020 up until now, they've gotten so much worse. I mean, I just don't even want to deal with patients anymore. I love them, and
Barbara
I
got
just
flagged
can't
for
stand them.
missing stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So here, let's address this. So, would you vote for someone held civilly liable of sexually assaulting a woman?
Would I say that again? I'm sorry.
Would you vote for someone held civilly liable of sexually assaulting a woman?
Would I hold them?
No. Would you vote for someone who has been
Oh,
held civilly liable of sexually assaulting a woman?
no, no.
No. Okay. Donald Trump has been held civilly liable of sexually assaulting a woman. Look up Trump liable essay, unanimously by a jury of 9 people.
Okay, I'll look that up. I'll look at it because I can't even find my damn registration card, so I might not even vote. But we'll see. But
I think you should. I think you should register. I think you should vote for Kamala Harris because I do think that this is a very important election. I understand wanting to be conservative, but Trump is a uniquely really bad person, and I'm not just trying to be like the liberal fearmonger. I'm telling you literally things he's done, literally things he supports that you can fact check and you can look up yourself, right? And do broader research on that are going to show you that he's a terrible person that you shouldn't help support.
Okay, I have a question though. So regarding what just happened with this Georgia woman, what was her name? Thurman. I forget her first name. Mom brain. But she was pregnant with twins. I think she was about 9 weeks along, and she had to leave Georgia, go to South Carolina, I think it was, to a hospital there so she could have an abortion. Is what it was. And she ended up dying because she took the abortion pill, and because she went septic, because apparently
Amber Thurman, yeah.
Yes. Apparently I guess the healthcare providers in Georgia did not want
They
to
can't
do a
provide it. Yeah.
DNC.
Yeah.
I thought, I could have sworn I read in the abortion ban that
was in
was
Georgia, yeah.
if they and Georgia's a blue state, by the way, if they I think it was saying that nowhere in the abortion ban does it say that they can't do a DNC. If there was fetal tissue left over, they have to perform it. They have to do the DNC. If not, that's medical negligence.
No, actually, no. So they're not a blue state right now, especially like in terms of their abortion legislation. I have a friend, Chris, who lives in Georgia. Would you like to hear his video? Actually, him talk about this. I think
Sure.
I think that would actually be a great thing. Chris made a video on this, and I think it's actually like a good video that we should we should bring up. Let me do it right here.
A woman in Georgia took abortion pills and experienced a very rare complication where there was still fetal matter left over inside of her uterus.
Oh, I saw that.
She got an infection, and she showed up to a North Atlanta hospital hoping that they would perform a very common routine procedure to clear out that fetal matter and clear out the infection. Except in Georgia, they made this procedure illegal with very few exceptions. In fact, a doctor can face up to 10 years in prison for performing it. I will preface this by saying I was born and raised in Atlanta. I am telling you, North Atlanta hospitals are very well equipped. This 28-year-old woman with a 6-year-old son sat in pain in the hospital as doctors watched her infection spread.
I want to say something about that, by the way. Yes.
And they waited. And then her organs started shutting down, and then they waited. And then they performed the surgery. That woman died. A Georgia committee ruled it was completely preventable. This is what happens. This is what people have been warning about with Republican-led, Trump-led abortion bans. Doctors are too scared to do their jobs.
Yes, I saw that video.
Push the hand
I
back.
did. It showed up on my For You page the other day. Yes. I feel like most of what happened there was medical racism. 100%. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's horrible that it's even a thing, but I feel like the doctors pushed her off because this, unfortunately, black women, pregnant black women, those who are giving birth, they end up dying more often than white women giving birth because of medical racism. It's a huge killer in
There are also the laws that did not allow them to do this. Okay, so it can be both.
Okay. I was looking that up though. I think that didn't make me leave, did it?
No, you're still here.
Okay. I was trying to look it up, but that's all right. I could have sworn I looked up the abortion ban, how it is in Georgia, and it said that they can legally do DNCs. So I don't know why.
Where'd you see that? Show me the source.
Yeah.
For them to specifically do that, because I'd love to see. In the meantime, everyone, do tap that screen. Let's run it up to 2 million likes. We're going to get the next person up here. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. We are just looking for some debates, y'all. Do tap that screen. Let's get to 2 million likes. Share it live as well, everyone. All right, let's get this next individual. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. All right. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Just ask and put it on the table.
Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hello? Brett, are you voting Trump? Brett, you there?
They need to fix the abortion laws everywhere. That's all I'm saying. That's my opinion.
That's because Trump
It needs
left it to
better
the States.
regulation.
Matthew, think of the $10.69. Thank you so much. That's because Trump left it to the States. Timothy, think of the $5.
Right. And how many abortions were being performed before it was left up to the states, especially in the black community?
Okay, wait. So again, I don't think that's wait. So if people are choosing to get abortions, what's wrong with people choosing to get abortions?
Because it's murder straight up.
Okay,
But,
so why do you think murder should be left up to the states?
baby, come here. Say that again. I'm sorry.
So why do you think murder should be left up to the states?
Why do I think murder should be left up to the states?
Yeah.
I feel like it gives us a little bit more freedom rather than the government having autonomy. Basically.
So I have a question. Do
Whatever
you
our
think
governor is, they're going to decide that.
You think during Jim Crow, certain states should have been able to make it legal to murder people who are black and to lynch them?
No, definitely not.
Okay, but if you're saying murder should be left up to the states, well then that would allow for things like that to occur.
No. What I'm saying is, when it comes to abortion, let's say, because I feel like a lot of the pro-choice argument is it's just a clump of cells. I mean, cells are living; they're alive. They're living organisms. So, if let's say if a woman miscarries, then you're not just going to tell her like, it's okay, it was just a clump of cells. It's not that big a deal. Like, I just feel like that's kind of dehumanizing.
Cool, sure. Do you think a zygote is a person?
A zygote is a potential person, yeah.
Potential person or person?
Yeah, the zygote is encased in a sac, and it's growing into a human.
Is it a person or is it a potential person?
Yeah, I said a potential person. Listen, I believe in the
it's not a
exceptions.
person. So when is it a person under your view?
When is it a person?
Yeah.
It's a person. It's a human fetus. It's a fetus. Zygote fetus.
At what point is it a? Those are two different stages of development. At
Yeah,
what
that's what I'm
point?
saying.
At what point is it the case that it's a person? At zygote? At conception?
I'd say after 6 weeks.
After 6, so 5 weeks you can get an abortion.
At 5 weeks you can get an abortion. I think that they said for some states that it's at least up to 6 weeks.
No. Do you think it should be that 5 weeks you should be able to get an abortion?
No.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
So it sounds like you would benefit from the child tax credit, but like as it relates to this, yeah, like so. Sorry, what was I saying? Can you remind me? That kind of 5 weeks. 5 weeks. Do you think that 5 weeks they should be able to get an abortion?
At 5 weeks they should get an abortion.
No, should they be able to legally?
Should they be able to? Yeah, if it matches the exceptions or if those
So,
criteria.
so at no, I'm saying an elective abortion at 5 weeks.
Elective. Oh. See, this is where
I
my
agree with the
beliefs-
kid. She
this
said
is-
no.
Yeah, I know. This is where my beliefs get a little difficult because, I'm a Christ follower. I believe that life is life, but also I look at my daughter and I think, well, she should be able to have a choice. It's wrong on all forms. It's murder. That's what I believe. But,
Okay, so if you
regarding
think
the
that it's
exceptions-
murder at 5 weeks, that they should still have the choice, why do you think at 6 weeks they shouldn't have the choice, even though it's still murder?
I'm sorry, say that again.
So why at 5 weeks, if it's murder, do you think they should have a choice, but at 6 weeks they shouldn't, even though it's still murder?
No, I think that the thing is that at every stage, it's a life. At 18 days after conception, the heart beats,
No.
That's
That's not a heartbeat.
biological. If we're not, let's not even bring the Bible
No,
into
I
this
promise you,
conversation.
no, that's not a heartbeat. No, there's no scientific evidence indicating a heartbeat happens at 18 days after conception. That is such a ridiculous statement to make.
Okay. Girl, please. She's pulling the toilet paper off. Hang on. Stop. Oh, I love toddlers. This is great. But, no, baby, come here. So, okay, obviously I live in Florida, right? Our old abortion, what is it called? Our old abortion law was up to 15 weeks, right? And we had all the exceptions. As soon as Governor DeSantis took office, I voted for Andrew Gilliam, but he took office and he changed it to 6 weeks. It was after it was left up to the states. He changed it to 6 weeks, with the exception of rape, incest, and the mother or baby's life being at risk. That's what I believe.
Okay, so again, so at 5 weeks they should have a choice, even though it's murder.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
At 5 weeks they should have a choice, even though it's murder.
At 5 weeks, I mean, it's before the 6 week mark. We're just saying that obviously this is, at that point, it's a zygote. I miscarried at 5 weeks. I had a chemical pregnancy at the beginning of this year. So what did I lose? They did an ultrasound. They found there wasn't even a sac in there. So from that point, I'm like, okay, I didn't really lose any body parts. Thankfully, I didn't need a DNC. They said if I kept bleeding, I could come back. They could do a DNC, but there wasn't really baby parts left in me. At that point, that's right before it becomes actual
So
fetal.
I'm asking, why should they have a choice at 6 weeks but not at 5 weeks? Or no, why should they have a choice at 5 weeks but not 6 weeks? Sorry.
I was like, what? I don't know. I just feel like at that point, it's just before it becomes an actual fetus. This is like a sac. The zygote lies within
No,
the sac.
I'm saying, okay, so at 5 weeks you should have a choice, so it's not murder.
I really don't think so.
Shanice, thank you for the $4. Thank you so much. So it's not murder?
Oh my God, I'm sorry, my child. Yeah, stop doing that. That's why it's difficult when I come from pro-choice to middle ground. I do think so. I mean, you have a pregnant woman and she gets murdered. That's double homicide.
Okay, so
They count it
again,
as a life.
so again, after sentience, I would consider it. Prior to sentience, I would say it's an unjust termination of pregnancy and homicide. So I'll just ask you this question.
Yeah.
Yeah, as it relates to this, I clearly don't understand why it would be murder at 6 weeks but not at 5 weeks. That just doesn't make any sense to me. What characteristic would you use? Because if you're using heartbeats, I can just ask you this question. Do you think that like a family who pulls the plug on a brain dead individual in their family is committing murder?
Oh, come here, baby. She was playing in the cat's water fountain. Honestly, if that's the thing, because I've heard some really miraculous stories of the doctors saying, this person's going to be a vegetable. You got to pull the cord. And they're completely wrong and the person comes back totally fine. So I feel like from that point, it's hard to tell, but I think that because the person that's actually in the coma didn't actually sign off on that. That's the thing. If they have a
No,
do
we're not
not
talking coma.
resuscitate, sure.
We're talking we're not talking coma. We're talking brain death.
Absolutely brain dead. Yeah.
Okay, if they're brain dead, you can pull the plug,
If there's no,
but they still have a heartbeat.
huh?
But they
But they
still have a heartbeat.
I would say probably not.
Oh, okay. So a family should be forced to keep the brain dead individual on a medical bed until they decompose.
No, definitely not. No. So listen.
Yo, chat, we hit 800K. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it, y'all. W's in the chat. W's in the chat.
So there's only so much that medically speaking they can prove. I've heard a lot of different stories of people who show brain dead on the monitor and they come back and they're like completely fine. That's the thing.
So again, brain death is irreversible sensation. So
Right.
that's not likely. So again, irreversible means it's not coming back. So if someone is brain dead and they still have a heart beating, do you think you should be able to pull the plug on that individual that's brain dead, knowing that they're never going to come back in terms of their brain? Abel, appreciate the $5. Thank you so much.
Someone said I was watching Grey's Anatomy. I've actually never seen Grey's Anatomy.
Hold up. Again, as it relates to my question.
Sorry. Say that again. I'm sorry.
You know they're never coming back, right? And it is the case that they still have a heartbeat. Can you pull the plug?
I think you could.
Okay, so that means, appreciate that message. Thank you so much. You care more about the sentience, the first person subjective experience, than you care about the heartbeat. So then why don't you say that you should be able to get an abortion up until sentience, which is around 18 through 26 weeks when it's likely to occur? 18 is very conservative.
Well, that's why I believe that there's a certain point where I feel like it's probably okay because they have no chance at having an actual life. I feel like at that point, it's mercy at that point. Like, you don't want this person just sitting there shitting, defecating on themselves, peeing on themselves, and like just sitting there drooling, you know, because I've seen that and it's horrible.
So what you're saying then is that it's okay to murder them because of that? Under your
I
own
wouldn't
view?
necessarily say that's. I
Okay,
mean,
if it's not murder, then why is it murder for a woman to get access to an abortion prior to sentience?
because it's not exactly a baby yet.
Oh, okay. It's not exactly a baby? What do you mean? What?
It's the zygote. It's going to turn into a fetus. There's different levels of life.
Isn't that like mean that like abortion would be okay then? Because it's not a baby?
No, well, I'm saying the law should be regulated. That's all I'm saying. There needs to be regulation. Otherwise, people are just going to go off and kill babies because they just feel like it, or because they didn't get the sex they wanted, or you know, like there were so many babies being killed before Roe v. Wade was overturned and it was put up to the states. There were so many.
Okay, so there were actually more abortions that happened in the past than what were happening now because of contraceptive usage, which Republicans are also undermining.
Come here. Stop.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else to talk about or add before we go on to the next person?
No, I'm good. Come here, baby.
All right. We're gonna let you deal with your kid. Let's go on to the next person. If you're MAGA, type in the comment section right now, and we'll bring you up. Tap that screen. Let's run it to 2